Hey Mel, I'm so excited to dive into the first barrier to overcoming poverty of the seven and what you and I can do to help people overcome it. It's Thanksgiving Day, and you've either already had an amazing meal or two, or you're about to have a meal with a small group of your family. And it's so good, all the wonderful food. Well, food is the key variable in health, and health is our first barrier to overcoming poverty because basically, if you don't have enough income to buy good food, it leads to skipping meals, poor nutrition, poor school and work performance, and a downward spiral into chronic poverty. It's so pivotal. So much so that the UN, World Health Organization, leaders of all nations recognize it as one of the key elements in the social determinants of health and have strategies to try to address food insecurity. Well, what can we do to help somebody overcome this problem? Because Thanksgiving of all days often reminds many people who are struggling that they don't have enough good food to feed their families on a regular day, never mind a feast day. Well, you can do what many people did for Olivia when she first came to us. And I hope as I walk through this, you'll see all of the different things that people did and see maybe one of them is something that you could do in your neighborhood. There were people, when Olivia came to us, she was expecting a child. And so she had been working very hard. She did have a place to live, but her rent was very high. And when she paid it, she had very little left over for food and was already skipping meals. She knew she needed to eat better because now she had this little one growing inside her. And so she reached out for help because she knew the right thing to do and she wanted to do the right thing, but she needed community to wrap around her to help her do it. And they did. So we had many people who loved to knit, and they knitted all these wonderful little items, baby items that went into the layette that we're able to give Olivia when her child was born. There are people who volunteered at the food bank and sorted things so that we were able to give her good food to take home and make wonderful meals for her family. There are people who donated, so we had food to give her, as well as baby carriages and clothing and the other supports that she required in terms of care management. There are volunteers who are mentors and tutors. Olivia is now studying to be a personal support worker and looking after her family because of all of these people who wrapped around her and built into her life. And her life trajectory is going to be changed forever, as will that of her children. And that's because community stepped in. And community is God's chosen solution to ending poverty. Truly and truly. So I hope if you've seen something in there and God is tweaking you and giving you a little message through the Holy Spirit to say, yeah, that's your zone. You care about these kinds of things and you're very gifted at giving in this particular way. Then I'd invite you to reach out to a charity in your neighborhood, reach out to us if you are in our neighborhood, and or just work with a community group and start to help families in need in this very critical and meaningful way that has lasting and sustained impact. Thanks so much, and I look forward to seeing you next month. Take care and happy Thanksgiving.